What's the typical dose of Epsom salt per gallon? Want to feed magnesium instead of CalMag starting week 4 soon. Okay, so the typical dose per gallon is 1 to 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt per gallon. I would recommend you using distilled water if you're going to do this versus tap water, and to treat that distilled water also with drops of balance at a ratio of 1 ml per gallon. That will help with the nutrient uptake of the magnesium versus just giving one specific mineral. I actually remember figuring this out 10 years ago in my grocery store. I'm the Curious George, the modern day Curious George. You put me into a hydroponics store, especially if I'm spending my money on those products and trying to get people to purchase them. I'm going to flip those bottles in the back and I'm going to read what's in it. And I remember it wasn't rhino skin, but it was one of the advanced nutrient bottles. They had so many bottles of nutrients. And I would start flipping them back and it would have like 1%. And whenever they say like 99% other, that's water, right? So they would say 1% Epsom salt or 1% sucrose or something, right? Sugar, 2% silica, whatever it was. But when you realize what that is, right? So 10 mLs in 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter is going to be that 1%, right? And when I realized that, I was like, holy shit, this entire bottle is water and they're putting in, like a teaspoon magnesium in this 1 liter bottle of Epsom salt. They're charging people $40 for it, right? The cartel wish they had some margins on their products. So just to answer your question, 1 to 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. If you're going to foliar spray, I'd probably recommend a 1 tablespoon per gallon of water versus 2. Yeah, they'll take that pretty quickly. But this is how you save money in the industry, guys. There's not a lot of products out there that you can't get the raw materials yourself. And if you just understand the dilution ratio and just have one plant for testing or something, you can figure out and save a large amount of money and just mix your own nutrients. I just released another video about how to max out your synthetic nutrients by understanding the law of minimum, law of tolerance. This is how you master your nutrient side of things, right? If you want to grow synthetic, is you don't go buy a $50 bottle of Epsom salt. You go buy a 5-pound bag of Epsom salt for $11 at the store, and you have a very concentrated salts, and you figure out what's the right ratio of your ppm where your plants look green and healthy and produce the highest quality potential that you're looking to grow with your plants. Once you do that, now you're saving yourself tens of thousands of dollars a year. You don't want to go buy a 50-pound bag of urea, but ammonium nitrate is going to be different than the urea, and the plants will grow differently, right? And the ammonium nitrate is a slower release nitrogen, but the plants are going to grow very healthy and strong. That's one of the key components to a lot of the nutrients that you purchase from like John Hydroponics, Box Farm, Lotus Nutrients, all these other ones, right? And a majority of the time, it's going to be 10 to 13 minerals that they're buying in large bags and just breaking them down in various compositions. It's easy to figure it out for yourself because all you have to do is just go look at the nutrient line you like, turn it in the back of the bottle. It's going to tell you the percentage of what's in there. The other is water, and then you just break down the ratios, and you now know, okay, if I go buy a 10-pound bag, I need to add in 1 teaspoon of this in that 1 gallon. Then you go over to your kelp, and you need to then add this much of that into your 1 gallon, and before you know it, now you have a mixing ratio for your own nutrient line, and you've spent $150 and you're saving money. This is also why I tell people to make your own bacteria products. If you haven't checked out our how to make BAM, check out that product. That will then make all your other fertilizer you're purchasing work even more efficiently. And then once again, you know me, I'm always talking about the drops of balance. You got to add in the trace minerals. And now before you know it, you have your entire nutrient line ready to go. Especially if you're a large grow operation, you saved tens of thousands of dollars because you're not getting caught up on the hype of a brand. You're buying the raw material. Remember that magnesium deficiencies are normally going to show up in the vegetative state of the plant, right? If they're showing up in the flowering state, is more than likely you're giving an excess of phosphorus and potassium, not magnesium.